What's up, everybody? Happy hump day. Wednesday, halfway through the week. It's 60 degrees. The sun's out. All kinds of activity going on. I mean, some of it's good, some of it's bad. I saw the governor, I guess, is revoking people's waivers. There was a bunch of people. What's up, Randy? Saw a bunch of people in the news today that got letters from the governor that were given a waiver 7 weeks ago, and now it's revoked. People were opening despite the order. Local county commissioners and state representatives are calling for the Secretary of Health to resign. Saw an article yesterday that weeks ago, Secretary Levine's mother she pulled her out of her nursing home and into a hotel, obviously because she didn't think it was safe. It's just all, man, whichever side of the fence you're on, whether you're Republican or Democrat or whatever, or just a person that's trying to make sense of it all, you can certainly say that there's a lot that has gone down, whether it was malicious or whether it was just an honest mistake, which it could have been. I mean, let's face it. I think a lot of these people like Dr. Fauci and Dr. Levine and people like that are trying their best to make the right decisions at the time. I'm just fearful that I think that a lot of times when these folks make these decisions, when the time comes to unwind those decisions because now there's new information, I think that they are reluctant to sort of go back on what they had said previously because that they may either be criticized by the media, it may have negative political implications, and instead of just doing what's right, they do what is in the best interest potentially of the people that they work for, which is unfortunate because their ultimate job is not to appease any higher power or political party or people that they quote unquote work for. Their job is to take care of the people. But anyway, that's not the purpose of this video, which will be a short one. I'm on my way to lunch. I'm going to Sit Down Dine at Round the Clock East. I'm going to meet a couple friends. We're going to have lunch together. I'm super excited about that. And if you didn't know, Round the Clock, Route 30 and Round the Clock East are open for dine-in eating. I got my mask in my pocket so that I can wear it to get in. And once I'm seated, then I'll be able to take it off and have lunch for the first time in 2 months at a sit-down restaurant. But here's what I wanted to just kind of ask you to be open to, regardless of the field that you're in. And listen, some industries have obviously been hit a lot harder and have a lot more restrictions than others. For example, the restaurant business, right? But inevitably, there is going to be an equal, if not greater, opportunity as a result of what's happening. So I can't speak specifically to any other business other than the one that I'm in. Alexis, yeah, Round the Clock East and Round the Clock on Route 30 are both open for dine-in eating right here in York, PA. But for real estate, there's some people that have been able to, and I praise those for being able to accommodate their customers for virtual showings, and folks have been able to continue to buy and sell real estate throughout the shutdown. Although it's extremely challenging for a lot of people, and for some they've just decided to pause buying a home or selling a home until this is all over, and I can't say that I blame them. But what's going to happen as a result is if you think about real estate specifically, when the shutdown or the stay-at-home order is lifted and people were able to go back to their normal way of shopping for a home, there will be a huge demand. Now, the demand may show up and look differently than it did 8 weeks ago. You're going to have some people that unfortunately have to sell their home as a result of the financial, impact that this had on them, positive or negative. There's some people, as crazy it may sound, that are in certain businesses that have seen a huge, increase in business. I drive by McDonald's every day, and there's a line around the block because of the shortage of places to go get food, and sit and dine in. So people are doing the drive-through or pick up or curb, side option or delivery. I'm sure Grubhub and Uber Eats and DoorDash and all of those companies have had huge increases in their business, and that may continue beyond these lockdowns. It may, revert back to something like it was before, but I don't anticipate it going down. And that's kind of my point about real estate, is that people will need real estate agents. They will need home buyers. They will need leasing agents. They're going to need property management companies. What's not happening is that people are no longer in need of a house, whether they buy it, lease it. For some real estate agents, there may be a huge spike in people that rent because of the impact that the virus had on credit worthiness, or mortgage companies being able to extend loans to people. So if you're a real estate agent, make yourself available to lease properties for people. You can still generate, a reasonable commission. The transaction takes far less time. I know it's not what we're all accustomed to, but it is certainly something that can help you, pivot through and transition through a time of change. And if you're aware of how things are changing, and you're one of the people that are willing to, a lot of it just takes showing up, being a part of it and doing it, you will reap the benefits. But there is going to be a lot of people that are, either forced to or have chosen to downsize. Maybe the timing of the virus and where they are and their professional career, or how it impacted, their income. They may choose to eliminate a house that's larger than what they need and downsize to a more affordable mortgage payment. So there's going to be a tremendous listing opportunity out there for agents that are able to help clients sell their home. There will continue to be people that want to buy a home. First-time home buyers, the younger generation, they've thrived and have always been at the forefront of this virtual philosophy. A large portion of that population works in the tech industry or in positions to where, they're able to do a lot of stuff remotely. So a lot of the first-time home buyers, weren't impacted negatively by this. It's speculation. I don't know that for sure, but I do know a lot of the younger generation that work in a lot of virtual positions, or they work in jobs or careers that allow them to do their job virtually. Anybody that's been considered essential, that works in the healthcare industry has not had any interrupted income that, as to date, for the most part. So there's a large portion of the population out there that will continue to buy and sell real estate as they did before. As a matter of fact, there has to be, in some capacity, a pent-up frustration. I was talking to some agents that work on our team yesterday. Sorry, I'm getting my vitamin C dose for the day. And they were talking about they each had 15 or 20 buyers that are qualified, ready to purchase, but are waiting until they're able to physically walk through a property before they purchase. They don't have to, buy anything right now. They're excited about buying a home, but they're going to wait. They're going to wait till they can physically tour a property, until they can physically attend a home inspection and appraisal and go through the process the way that they anticipated it. Some people have made the decision to, purchase properties with virtual tours. That's awesome that they're able to do that. But there's going to be a tremendous amount of pent-up demand. There's going to be a lot of sellers that have chosen not to sell right now because, for one reason or another, they don't want people in their house, or they're concerned about how the lack of people's ability to see the home may negatively affect what it sells for. Plenty of buyers are unable to physically tour homes in Pennsylvania and are choosing not to shop for a house right now. And when that lockdown is lifted, I think you're going to see a tremendous spike. But you have to be mentally prepared for it. One of the toughest things right now, I think, for a lot of us, is to, there's an old saying that says a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. And for a lot of people, this 8 weeks has shifted them to a place of rest where they're not able to practice the normal real estate. They're not able to conduct business the way they've always done. And if you're not disciplined enough to force yourself into a new lane, a new method of staying busy, communicating with clients, generating leads, and communicating with your customers, then ultimately you may shift into, psychologically a place of rest, physically a place of rest, emotionally a place of rest. And the important thing is that for whatever duration that this lasts, you have to keep, your mind, body, and spirit in motion. And that's being aware of opportunities. Like for our business, there was an immediate need for us to pivot to doing business over the phone. Had we not, committed to make, and it was a huge transition. I mean, it was extremely challenging for our people. Most of our acquisitions agents are super, personable. So, I mean, the most enjoyable part of their job and the thing that really makes them click is their ability to connect with people when they're with them and feed off of their energy and body language. And that's what allows them to help problem solve and build relationships with their clients. So when that was taken away and we were forced to do business over the phone, it had a very, very negative and measurable impact on our people and how they were able to communicate with clients. But we stayed the course. We knew that in order to be able to provide service to our customers, that was our only option at that point. And we were able to support our acquisitions agents. We had great management with Doug Good here at the company. Anthony Lynham was constantly communicating with our teams to make sure that, we had as much communication as we could. We had virtual happy hours. We started a company Facebook page where people could just share information. I would get on weekly and share updates about what was going on within our federal government, our local healthcare systems, to make sure that people had a consistent place where they could get reliable updates and news. And all of that was difficult. Like it was, after 15 years of business, it was probably the biggest and quickest change that I had experienced. In 2008 and 2009, when the market shifted, we were sort of at the beginning phase of our business, and we're so small and nimble that we didn't even really experience the full impact of the change. But it took an awareness for us, and that's my point, and a flexibility to recognize that we couldn't just put our head down and be stubborn about the circumstances. We had to remain active and had to remain diligent in finding the opportunity. And that's what I would encourage everybody to do, that there is going to be a normal. There is going to be, I think, a substantial amount of pent-up demand. And if you look at these places when they're opening, whether it's barbershops or dine-in restaurants or beaches, the communities are responding to it, and they're showing you how willing they are to go back to normal. I mean, and whether you disagree with it, or you think that it's the right thing to do, the reality is that that's what society is telling us, in the large majority. Listen, we don't need everybody to visit your restaurant. You only need the amount of people that it takes to fill your tables and be profitable. So if everybody decides not to go back out to eat, that doesn't impact you. What you need to be able to do is figure out how to service your clients now, how to be safe, how to comply as much as possible when you're able to with new health guidelines and restrictions. And stay the course. But there are going to be opportunities. Like I saw a lot of, food trucks. I saw a lot of businesses that did minimal carry out became very outward facing about posting their menus and having specials and doing curbside pickup and offering delivery service. And while that was not what 8 weeks ago was your business focus, it was the thing that got you to the next thing, which hopefully is getting back to business as usual. So just make sure that your eyes are wide open, your mind is receptive to new ideas, and I promise you, and I believe, And I'm speaking from experience, not only firsthand with our business, but what I've witnessed with businesses that I either rely on or pay close attention to, that if you're open-minded, positive, and available, when opportunities present themselves and you're positioned to take advantage of it, you'll be rewarded. I mean, what's the old saying that luck is when opportunity meets hard work? So I would just encourage you to stay the course, keep your head up. One of the things you cannot do right now is quit. I know what it's like to feel, and it's run through my head 1,000 times that, as our business was directly impacted by this, that the thought of having to start over was exhausting. Like, just to have the energy or to think about what it would take to start over was almost enough to make me, want to just to cry. I mean, it was disheartening. But, a good friend of mine told me that if you want to avoid starting over, then just don't quit. So hopefully what you'll take away from this is that, yes, things may be different. Yes, they may be more challenging. Part of that was invigorating to me. The challenge that came along with this, and the responsibility that I knew that I had for those that count on me, was inspiring to me. It gave me a boost of energy, and I knew that we had to pull through, and I personally had to be a leader and had to make sure that everybody that relies on us, from our clients to our employees to their family members to the vendors and contractors and material suppliers that work with us, but I couldn't have done that if I had just kind of put my head down, conceded, and waited for the storm to pass. So I would encourage you to be available emotionally, be aware of opportunities they present themselves. And again, if it specifically is in your lane but requires a little bit of flexibility on your part or some innovation, go out and do it. At the end, even when things go back to normal, that innovation will probably prove to be a big contributor to the success of your business. I think you'll find that a lot of that innovation will be something that you'll hold on to and retain even after this is gone. So I would just leave you with this, is that to avoid starting over, just commit to not quitting. And that is a surefire way to make sure that you don't have to start over. That's it. That would be my words of encouragement for the day. Enjoy the weather today. It's a little windy, but it looks like it's 60 couple degrees. And there's my buddy Vince. Look at this guy. What's up, Broham?
What's up, buddy?
I'm going to round the clock. Get a little sit-down lunch. Yeah, I am. I'm meeting Rudy over there and Mike Jones, the state representative. I can't wait to have some of that ranch dressing. That homemade ranch. You want to go? Anyway, I'll see you guys. Have a good day.